Your bug-out bag is a joke. Your tactical gear is a costume. Guess who's got food, water, and zero anxiety when the grid dies? Spoiler, not you. Meanwhile, the Amish will be milking cows like it's Tuesday, because for them, it is just Tuesday. While you're panicking because your 5G signal dropped, there's a community living in your worst-case scenario for over 3 centuries, and they're fine. Today, we're looking at the horse and buggy community, the Amish, the only people on this planet who already have the cheat code for surviving the future. This is about real, absolute resilience. The Amish don't prepare for collapse. They live in a way that makes collapse boring. Which raises an uncomfortable question. If that's real resilience, what exactly are we doing? Because modern prepping looks less like survival and more like shopping for the end of the world. You spent $2,000 on freeze-dried meals that taste like cardboard soaked in regret, a tactical flashlight, a water filter, and a knife you've used exclusively for opening Amazon packages. You call this preparation. Every survival forum obsesses over the same question: which gear is best? Wrong question. The right question is, what systems function without external inputs? The Achilles heel of modern society is interconnected fragility. Everything is just in time. Your heat needs a gas line. That needs a pump. That needs a server in Virginia. One failure, total collapse.
We built a tower of cards and called it civilization. Modern preppers panic buy 3 months of stockpiled food and call it a victory. The Amish grow enough food for 12 months each year, then preserve it using methods that don't require electricity, fuel, or replacement parts. They're not storing calories. The Amish are producing them. Big difference. The Amish community didn't prepare for a shock. They're immune to it. We buy the survival shovel. They know how to dig the well. Modern prepping treats collapse as a temporary disruption. Stock up, hunker down, wait for normal to return. The Amish treat self-sufficiency as a permanent way of life. They don't have a plan B for when systems fail. They never built plan A around systems that could fail. They built infrastructure instead. So let's break it down, system by system. First, food. Starvation's a lousy way to spend the weekend. You've got cans in the basement. The Amish have root cellars. Primitive living? No, it's pure thermodynamics. Amish farmers grew their own food. These families know what went into that soil, which pests attacked, and which weather patterns affected the harvest. You're praying your freezer doesn't thaw. They're using Earth's constant temperature to slow molecular motion and halt bacterial growth. When you open a can, you're trusting a supply chain that's one hacker away from vanishing. When Amish open their cellar, they're trusting a system they built by hand. Then there's fermentation. You think it's a quaint tradition? No, it's biological warfare. Lactic acid bacteria rapidly lower the pH so harmful pathogens don't stand a chance. Sauerkraut, pickles, preserved meats, all running on microbiology that doesn't need electricity or your permission. And that brings us to energy. Your solar panels are high-maintenance divas. They need replacement parts, specialized technical support, and a prayer to the silicon gods. Amish systems are passive by design, building orientation for solar heating. Stone walls act as thermal mass, absorbing heat during the day and releasing it at night. Wood stoves are the ultimate MVPs. They heat the house, cook the food, and warm the water all at once. Every system has a side hustle because efficiency isn't optional when you can't flip a switch. Water? Hand pumps. Simple, fixable, and don't care if the municipal grid is a smoking crater. The water table just sits there waiting for someone smart enough to access it without complex machinery. Your electric well pump needs specialized components and technical knowledge. An Amish hand pump needs a wrench and common sense. Finally, the horse and buggy. You see outdated, I see a self-replicating, carbon-neutral SUV that runs on grass and heals itself. A horse makes more horses. A broken John Deere just makes you cry. A horse isn't going to throw a software error 404 in the middle of a field. The worst technical glitch you'll have to deal with is some free fertilizer left right on the driveway. Amish aren't off-grid because they hate technology. They're off-grid because they refuse to be dependent on a system they can't control. They use diesel engines to run equipment, sure, but they own the fuel. They own the engine. Amish people control when it runs and when it stops. Selective technology, not addictive dependency. But none of that works without the system most people ignore.
Here's the part that the lone wolf preppers absolutely hate. You cannot survive a collapse alone. If you have to sleep with one eye open to guard your beans, you've already lost. Humans survived ice ages, predators, and scarcity through coordination, not gear. Solitary wolves starve, pack wolves eat. The Amish have the ultimate survival asset, the biological blockchain. It's a social network of trust and mutual aid that doesn't need Wi-Fi or electricity. Think about a barn raising. It's the ultimate expression of crisis response. If an Amish farmer's barn is leveled by a storm, 100 men show up the next morning with hammers, lumber, and skills. They rebuild it in a day. Not because they're saints, because next month it might be their barn and you'll be one of the 100 who shows up. This creates redundancy and knowledge. Someone knows blacksmithing, someone else knows carpentry, another specializes in animal husbandry. Collective knowledge covers every essential skill, distributed across individuals trained since childhood. Amish kids learn by working alongside adults from age 6. By 15, they've got a decade of hands-on experience and skills you'll be Googling in a panic when the power dies. No YouTube tutorials that disappear when the internet goes down. Just muscle memory and competence. When someone in an Amish community faces a problem, 20 people with relevant experience show up. That's not religion, it's distributed problem-solving architecture. Modern individualism is a luxury afforded by stable systems. When those systems collapse, cooperation becomes survival mechanics. Amish discipline shapes not just how they live, but how they think. We are currently losing a psychological war we don't even realize we're part of. Our brains have been hijacked by a digital feed that profits off of our anxiety. The Amish, they've opted out. Their digital detox is a fortress of mental fortitude. They are immune to the psychological warfare of a collapsing world because they don't live in the infosphere. Think about how vulnerable our data really is. Cyber attacks can wipe out your bank account, steal your identity, and shut down your access to the world. But you can't hack a ledger kept in a leather book. You can't deepfake a neighbor you see face-to-face every single day. By rejecting the matrix, the Amish preserved a direct engagement with reality that most of us have lost. Their way of life has no meaningful cyber vulnerabilities because there's no digital surface area to attack. Strength, in their case, comes from disconnection. While we doom scroll, the Amish focus on soil, seasons, and the person in front of them. That builds mental toughness modern systems actively destroy. It allows them to face a crisis without looking for a like button or a comment section for validation. Amish don't need to post a photo of their breakfast with a survival aesthetic filter for the calories to count. Turns out, porridge still fuels your body if nobody double taps the post. And that's the part worth paying attention to. I'm not suggesting you sell your iPhone and start wearing suspenders, though at this rate it might not be a bad idea. But we need to stop looking at the Amish as relics of the past and start seeing them as architects of a future built on less dependency.
So here is your blueprint. Start small. Learn one trade that doesn't require electricity. Grow something you can actually eat. But most importantly, build your local network. Identify the 10 people on your street you can actually count on when the supermarket shelves are empty. Ask yourself, if the power never came back on, what would I actually be able to do? Your answer to that question determines whether you're building resilience or just collecting expensive hobbies. Start building your own Amish cheat code today. And for God's sake, learn how to use a hammer.